These are the tales and ramblings of two men, their dream of running a successful food truck business and life. We invite you along to join Josh and Skippy on this journey. This is Monday Morning Food Truck.
Powered by Riverside.
Good morning, Skippy.
Top of the muffin to you, fella.
That is the best part.
I know. That's why. Top of the muffin to you.
You are the top of the muffin.
I more have a lot of muffin top. But
I just noticed that we are flipped in YouTube.
Oh, well, good. I like to be on the other side.
I don't know that it's ever been that way before.
Well, our tens of listeners will.
I wonder why.
You shouldn't have said something and should have put it as a comment. Like, please comment on what's different. Again,
no one would know unless they watch both streams.
Like I said,
who's going to do that?
Our tens of listeners.
It's a struggle to get people to listen one time, let alone two. Sorry about all the extra noise today, everybody. It's Labor Day. Kids are home.
Did you know that U.S. and fun fact about Labor Day, U.S. and Canada both celebrate it. However, Canada
makes everybody work longer.
I don't know about that. I cannot confirm nor deny their working practices. They've celebrated it longer than the United States.
Oh.
And they also
meanwhile, in China, it's National Forced Labor Day in China. So get back to work, kids.
Isn't that most days in China?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, I tell you, it's a great day. Today's just a great. What is it? Hold on. Good day to have a great day. Is that what they say?
That's a thing.
Yeah,
it's also a great day to save a life if you are a Grey's Anatomy McDreamy fan.
I was not a Mick anything fan, other than McDonald's when I was a kid.
I was gonna say. You got a problem with the McRib?
Yeah.
I mean, me too. It's pretty awful.
It's how so many people look forward to that per year is just amazing.
It's just the sauce. The patty itself is disgusting. I've eaten one without sauce on it, off the grill. It's not good.
You can buy those same patties at Aldi.
Yeah, it's not great. That barbecue sauce they use though is not horrible, and I don't know what it is.
Nice and tangy.
It is.
It's nice and tangy.
Yeah. Back when I worked there, I used to buy some. So.
Back when you were doing your catering on the side?
No, I wasn't cooking professionally outside of there at all.
Just kidding.
Or amateurly.
Amateurly.
Tell you what, though, that would have been a great thing because they let us buy stock. So I could order a case of hamburger patties for $3.
Well, with inflation, they're only $4.50 now. I don't know. So we are now into September.
Yeah.
This is my first full month back.
It's about fucking time.
Tell me about it. Well, I'll start off the week because I know everybody's been asking about my follow. Oh, geez, oh, Pete, I'm doing the same thing. My follow-up appointment for my knee. That happened this past Wednesday, and I am healing ahead of schedule.
Excellent. Look at you being an overachiever.
I am Superman. If he was fat and short. The X-ray vision would be so great, though. So, for all our new listeners, because I know we've got tens of new listeners.
YouTube is blowing up right now.
Yeah, it is.
We have 0
they're
active listeners.
They'll be there in a minute.
Yeah, they're all sleeping in. Bunch of punks.
Does a food truck thing. Anyway, so I tore my what's called a quadriceps tendon that connects your kneecap to your quad. They repaired it back in middle of July. This was my 6 week appointment. It was the 28th, this past Wednesday, and I no longer am required to wear the brace, which is good.
Excellent.
He did recommend it just because my quadricep probably still has a little bit of atrophy to it, but I just take it as slow as I can, which is normal speed for me. And other than that, I'm going to call and start PT, or to schedule PT. They said they were going to call me, and I didn't receive any phone calls last week. So it is still very, very tight. I have about 90 degrees of mobility, which is exactly what he wanted. But the biggest thing he said was, quote unquote, no restrictions.
Excellent.
And I made the mistake of not asking what that meant. So, like, can I run? Can I jump? Can I, am I able to do anything normally now? I can tell you going upstairs is still pretty tough.
How much running and jumping were you doing previous to this injury?
Well, I would jump at least twice every day to get my serving window closed. So
I really need to put a strap on mine.
Yes,
it's driving me nuts.
I have to.
I feel like the dumbest person when I have to do my little hop to reach the window.
You do a hop. I'm trying to dunk a 10-foot basket. That's what it looks like for me. When I fall, I don't just fall. I create a fault line. So anyway, we've managed. We're doing. We did cafe update. We did get a quote for the floor to be done.
Mm-hmm.
We were thinking
$9,000.
We were thinking 6, 7, or 8, somewhere in that area. No, this company really likes their shit. $13,500 for 425 square feet of tile.
That sounds right. So my main floor, we were gonna, because the dogs have destroyed the carpet from when they were puppies. So we were just gonna redo it all in laminate. But we have laminate in sections of our main floor already, so obviously you're not gonna match perfectly.
No, you just
drive me nuts. So yeah, just redo the whole thing. And we were like 15 for 3 rooms.
So this was for,
and it wasn't even like top of the line.
This was for the basic, like 48 cent per piece of tile, but there were 6x6 pieces.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to end up doing VCT, which is another approved tile that the entire material should cost us about $1,500. And the owner's going to work on that, hopefully by the 23rd of September. So that Monday is, I'm hoping, when I can start moving equipment in, because I really would like to get going in October.
Nice.
So considering I did my numbers today, I'm down 6% for the year because taking all that time off.
Excellent. Yeah, let's get to numbers a little bit later.
Yes.
We're going to try something a little different. Those that are listening via the recording.
That's what they're doing. They're not listening to YouTube. They're listening to the recording.
They'll get it later. We're going to try something new this week. The part 1 and part 2 aren't going to both be posted today. Part 1 will get posted today. Part 2 will get posted on Wednesday or Thursday. So you may hear another Riverside intro about halfway through the show today. And that is our clean break moving into part 2. So,
or we could just do that.
We can
just
do
that
another
on cue.
Another clean break over there. I'm thinking that it'll probably be after we get through, our full weeks of how the week went and shit. So it usually takes us about a half hour, 45 minutes to get through that. So, yeah.
So I almost cried because of a good thing past week.
That's good.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing. So
Rick almost cried too.
Who did?
Rick. We broke his brain on Saturday, so we'll get to that.
Can't wait to that. We made a return to our normal roadside spot in the Brooklyn of Michigan that we haven't been to since Please hold.
Mhm.
Since
So yeah, I want to break down all our numbers in the second half of the show today. So
January
August.
11th, I haven't been there. Or July 11th, I haven't been there. And I was very, very concerned that when I came back, that they'd forget about me, or nobody would stop, or whatever. And it was a hot day. We probably had one of our best days there, like ever, and it was phenomenal. We had regulars stop. We had new people. People talk about the cafe opening. They're all excited about that. So I'm cautiously optimistic about the whole situation. And then that was just. I had a really shitty week as far as sales go, except for that day. But other than that, it was good. That made me very, very happy, fella.
What do you attribute the poor sales week to?
I mean, it was like 3 levels of hell most of the week.
It wasn't that hot all week, was it? I thought we only had a couple days that were. It was muggy though. Even on the cooler days, it was pretty muggy.
I was supposed to do a subdivision on Tuesday, and I rescheduled it because it was 3 levels of hell that day, along with storms that were coming through. So I didn't want to drive an hour and then drive an hour back at 8:00 at night, driving through storms and hurricanes.
Yeah, I think you guys got more of the storms than we did too. We got pretty lucky here. So
we got a couple funnel clouds.
I saw Bubba's. Bubba had some friend of the show. Bubba had some pretty significant tree damage and trees on his trailer. So, but looked like he was able to go a day later. Yeah,
it was okay.
Yeah, I saw the one. His propane cage was pretty well dented.
Yes, I saw that as well.
Luckily nothing bad there. Could have been a whole lot worse.
I would attribute poor sales to poor booking, personally. Wednesday was a little maker's market. I did like $500. It was slow. I knew it was going to be slow.
Have you been there before?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's mainly because the organizer is such a nice lady, and it's 20 minutes away from home. So let's keep a good relationship going.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it might turn into something more. I think I catered a graduation party for her. And the other one was a campground, and campgrounds are hit or miss every single time. I asked other trucks that have been there, and I'll get your opinion on this.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to, let's say, a new subdivision or a new venue for you that, let's say, another barbecue truck has been to in the past,
mm-hmm.
do you, if you're familiar with their food, and let's say your sales aren't as good as what, if you reach out to them, what their sales were, would you attribute it to poor, like people don't want to try a different truck because the truck they already tried sucked? Okay, I'll tell you why I'm asking this.
I think that might have, if people have a couple bad experience, like if their only experience is the food trucks that come to their neighborhood and they've been less than impressed with a couple of them or the two that they went to or whatever, then I can see people being kind of turned off and back to that whole, food trucks are not good food at a premium price type of thing. There is such a small number of other food trucks that I trust what they're actually telling me as far as their sales numbers.
I could see that.
People like to inflate to make things look better than they are for them. So, they think so they can look like their business is doing better than what it might be. I don't think there's any ill intent. I think they just self-inflate.
Yeah.
Whether they're in denial of what they actually did or not, or they don't know. So they're just guessing high. But there's a couple that I typically don't reach out to other trucks.
So only reason I did is because I know these people, like the person that booked me actually lives at this campground full time, like through the winter and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's the nicest lady in the world. She does all these vendor markets that for food trucks they suck, but for vendor markets they do great.
Right.
But so because I'm her husband's favorite truck, she asked if I'd come. I said, it's Labor Day weekend. I really probably got nothing going on, so sure, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So she told me, I said, have you asked what other trucks have done as far as sales go, tickets, whatever? Give me an idea. And they said between like 2,000 to 3,000. I'm like, okay, all right, well, maybe. You good? Okay. So then I asked what trucks came out, and she told me. So I messaged the other barbecue truck. He's like, yeah, we did about 1,500 in sales. I'm like, okay, 1,500. All right, not bad. I'll cook enough. And we definitely did not do 1,500. I think we did just shy of 900. But the one constant comment I got was, wow, this stuff is better than the last barbecue truck we had.
Yeah.
And I'm like, son of a bitch, did he ruin it for the rest of us? So when she messaged me and asked how it went, I'm like, I was brutally honest with her. I said, if I come back, I want to be the only barbecue truck that year, or I want to arrive before any other barbecue trucks you might have.
Well, and campgrounds are different though, because it's such a high turnover of people outside of the, those people that have a slot for the year.
This one had 200 seasonals. So people that are there every year. And what?
That's so many.
It is. And it wasn't. I was very surprised with how it looked. I mean, it looked like, have you ever been to remember Silver Lake and Jellystone?
Mm-hmm.
It looked very similar to that. Like very, very similar, Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's kind of what I was picturing. Yeah, you got kids and they're talking, I can tell. They're all...
Well, there's 2 more coming soon.
Oh, boy.
It's not going to get quieter.
I was going to say, did your wife lock herself in the basement because of that? Anyway, so yeah, that was our weekend. We had a wedding yesterday that went. So we were, the wedding venue was acting as quote unquote the coordinator. Mm-hmm. And this person booked me without trying our food, and then came and tried our food, and then changed his order to what he tried. So of course I had to send out a whole new invoice. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what? It's $10 difference. I'm just gonna eat the cost and make whatever you want. It was a wedding for like 35 people in this nice, beautiful wedding venue. Mm-hmm. We did a full 12 pounds of brisket, like 30 chicken legs, and like a full pan of mac and a couple of sides. And yeah, it was Saturday. I text him. I said, hey, I'm going through my notes. I don't see that you agreed on a time for service. And he's like, wait, what? Didn't the venue contact you? I'm like, are you using a wedding planner? If so, give me their number and I'll talk to them. Mm-hmm. So then I get a call from the venue, like freaking out, like, oh, what? We sent you an email. You didn't. What's going on? It's the day before the wedding. You're freaking this guy out. Come to find out, they've mistyped my email wrong, so I never got the email. So we got it figured out. And I said, hey, I will message the gentleman back and just let him know, hey, there was an email that was sent. Unfortunately, it was a mistake. We'll get you taken care of. Don't worry. Well, if it's your only
thing for the day, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Yeah. And I find it funny that the venue did not want me to contact him, and I'm like, but I got to let him know that I wasn't purposely missing something.
Right.
So I didn't call him. I spoke to him at the wedding, and I said, hey, just to let you know, I wasn't doing something on purpose. There was an email that was sent out I didn't get. I just want to make sure that you understand that. He's like, you're here now. That's all I care about. I'm like, yeah. Done. He had the greatest looking cornrows in too. Like just full, nice, good looking cornrows.
Nice.
Because he had a fro the last time I saw him. Anyway, beautiful couple. And today's Labor Day. And we got a full week this week. Full week.
Excellent.
Full week. I'm so happy about it.
As far as campgrounds go, so
yeah, talk about campgrounds.
I went back and looked because Labor Day is always, one of those, I don't know, holiday weekends are just always iffy for me. I have a hard time scheduling them. And so I look back at last year. We weren't in Nuevo last year, so we were filling in. We did campgrounds on Saturday and Sunday. It's 2 different campgrounds. And yeah, we did like 17, 18 at each one.
Yeah.
So we've had hit and miss luck with campgrounds. The one we continue to go to, Tyler Creek, has been consistent.
It's great.
It's typically a $1,300, $1,400 day, which is fine for me. It's a lower day than we would love to have on a Saturday or Sunday, but I know what we're going to get when we're there because it's pretty much the same number every time we go.
And realistically, it's an easy day to make a decent amount of cash. Yeah.
And that is fine for us every once in a while.
Yeah.
We don't mind. With as crazy as we go sometimes.
Every day.
Yeah, we had enough of that this month. Yeah, it's so yeah, I mean everything was I'm glad you had a good weekend.
We tried.
And I here's a thing that I would love for Square to have. For you to be able to put notes in your sales report. For you to, at the end of the day, to pull an end of day sales report and be able to enter notes.
I can see that.
Would be awesome to have in there just to put out like a location.
Yeah.
Here's where we were. That way when you pull your numbers for the day, you can look right there and say, oh, that's where we were.
So I have my Google Calendar synced. Yep, synced. Okay, to my website. Mm-hmm. So when they click on an event, they can see any note that I type in.
Yeah, which is what I don't like.
Which I hate that because you have to put it as private to be able to, and it doesn't show the event title if you put it as private. It just says private event. Shit.
Yeah.
So
there's some of that I don't care for.
I think I'm doing a different calendar so I can make notes of where I was or make notes of what I did where I was at versus going back and...
That's great, but you still have to go to 2 different spots to find it.
Correct.
Yeah. So when I pulled our sales number for the Friday of Labor Day weekend, we had done like $2,400 for the day.
Okay.
And I knew we were at Wiseman for lunch, and I thought we only did lunch because you know what? Our weekly schedule post only had Wiseman from 11 to 2. So I'm looking at the hourly, like we have sales from 4 to 7.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it's not a private event. It wasn't a catered event. So clearly we had something going on. So I look on there, can't find it. Look in my paper calendar, nothing there but Wiseman from 11 to 2. I'm like, well, what the F, man? So I scroll through a year's worth of Facebook posts on our page to try to find the daily post to see if there's something there. And we had a subdivision that we were able to add on after the weekly schedule was done. So we just added it on. But yeah, it took the time spent trying to figure out what we did that day.
Yeah.
Whereas, when we close out a drawer, it'd be so nice just to be able to type in something there.
Absolutely.
And maybe that's just unique to, clearly food trucks because we move around, but yeah, it would be a nice feature to have all that in one spot. Because we've done journals where we've tracked weather and number of, transactions and how many specials, what the special was and how many we sold that day type of thing.
Yeah.
But that's cumbersome,
For sure.
And you start, you miss a couple of days and all of a sudden it's like, well, this is now worthless. So. Hold on, I'll close this door.
I was going to say, Josh is recording from the Joe Louis Arena prior to demolition. Look at her.
Lord help us.
No, Lord is not available for your problems.
Yeah, I'm used to that. Oh, I'm sorry. We have some comments on Facebook. One of the services, YouTube. Thank you very much. I had my calendar up for when we got
our tens of listeners back. Yes.
Yeah, we are. Currently 2, but
let me guess. Justin.
Steve Jason. Rodriguez said, "Good morning." By the way, not sleeping in. Bernie, who's on vacation, checking in from Booth Bay Harbor, Maine. First day off since May. Life is good. Have a great show. Thank you.
Nice place.
And then, Mama Fran said, make a suggestion to Square. Yep, I make suggestions to Square all the time. You get to see any of my brilliant ideas implemented.
Yeah, that's tough.
But
Square doesn't like those type of suggestions because they will not do anything.
But yes, I fully intend to, at the end of the year, I kind of compile an email of things we'd love to see. So had some things that have been changed and changed back and changed back again. So the whole change staying on the screen on a cash order, if you don't have if you don't have the receipt screen pop up for the customers so they can select a receipt. So we don't have that option for them anymore because we had so many people just hitting print receipt. And then we hand them a receipt. Oh, I don't need that. Going through an extra roll of paper every 2 weeks. It was insane. So we took the option away. So now if they pay with cash, it just flashes on the screen. It's there for a second and then disappears. So if you're talking to the customer, being sociable and, doing your job, you can miss it. So if you don't remember what the total was to begin with, or if you're halfway through cashing or counting, it was kind of a pain in the butt. So something had changed in one of the updates recently to where it was staying up.
Okay.
And then it went away again. So I think it is again back. So I don't know if they were just having some bugs with it or whatever, but was happy to see that it was staying on the screen. Made it a lot easier for everybody to not have to guess sometimes on change.
Yeah.
Or go through and pull transactions, which not all our people have access to. Welcome, Flava Fusion on TikTok. Hello.
Flava Flav. Is that who that is?
Yeah, instead of a clock on their necklace, it's a shaker bottle.
I was thinking a ThermoWorks timer, but we can go with it. Did you see the new ThermoWorks product, by the way?
They've been all over all my stuff. I haven't really looked though.
So you've heard of the Meteor Probe, right? The wireless probe.
The wireless, yeah.
They came out with one. And I bought it. It's on pre-order, but I'm just going to ship this month so I can use it for the rotisserie. But supposedly it's supposed to, their Bluetooth technology, they showed a graph of what happens to Bluetooth through like a thick smoker wall, and it just diminishes like as soon as it goes through. He says they swear theirs don't. And I love ThermoWorks product. Anybody listening, I love ThermoWorks products. I have 2 ThermoPens and a handful of dots. And I will probably get the Node, which is a what are you laughing at?
I gotta answer this question, and it's one I get a lot. Please. From Flava Fusion on TikTok. How do you go live with less than 1,000 followers?
Carefully.
So you can use TikTok's Live Studio to go live, which is designed for desktop sharing for like gamers and stuff. So that is what we're using. I can't go live with my phone off the app, like in the truck, like a lot of other people do. I have to use the studio. So I have to use my laptop in order to do it. And I'm just sharing the screen that is on my other screen. Hope that answers the question. But yeah, TikTok Live Studio for the desktop is the way you have to go until you get to 1,000. So Make sure you follow us, though. And I would love to get to 1,000 so we can do some easier live streaming on the truck. Is the goal.
Can't you use the studio? I assume is not an app, correct?
Yeah, correct. Live Studio is not an app.
Could you do it on like a tablet?
Maybe. Okay. I don't know. I haven't tried.
Maybe I'll try with mine.
So, Bernie Fireboard came out with wireless thermometer as well. I prefer Fireboard over ThermoWorks, just my opinion. I'm a big Fireboard person too. I got one of their instant read thermometers, which is pretty nice. I did notice that they do have some wireless probes too. I have no need for them yet. Flava Fusion's also trying to live stream from the truck. Yeah, there's some good opportunity out there. A lot of trucks are having some pretty solid success with doing that. If we ever got to the rotisserie part, potentially, especially if we were running overnight and I had an overnight person, that I would feel more comfortable monitoring temperatures than going off a feel. Right now, 90% of the time, I have a pretty good idea of when my stuff's going to be done within a half an hour to an hour, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't keep too close an eye on temps. Everything is so freaking consistent with our cooks every day. So,
With the
um,
with the rotisserie, I'm still trying to figure out time, and
yeah. Oh yeah.
that's what's got me.
And yeah, you can't really have those wired with a
No,
rotisserie.
yeah, they don't really work like that.
No, you need a really long cable, and then have to run the rotisserie in reverse at the end of your cook.
Yes, that wouldn't. Yes,
No bueno.
no bueno.
Yeah, so the fireboard, my pen, my instant read for that will actually, it sends it to my phone too, so I can see it on my phone and the little display on the smoker. So it sends that, it connects to everything, which is kind of cool. But if I'm just instant reading stuff, yeah. But it has an additional port on it too, so I could plug in another probe to that if I wanted to monitor. But anyways, on to my week.
Please, I want to hear about everything.
We had a week. Let me get back over to my
I saw some lines.
lines. Oh yeah. If those that are watching on YouTube, can you let me know if the video is showing? Because I'm just getting a spinning circle on my preview screen, and it says it's connected and going. So I'm just trying to make sure. Yeah. September, August, last week, August. What the hell did we do? Yeah, it was the first week back from the UTV. It was probably our most normal week we've had in months, as far as catering, not catering. We didn't have I think we had one private event, and that was on Saturday, and that was only semi-private. Other than that, it was a lot of roadside. Yeah, Tuesday was the hottest day, I think, right? That sounds right. Slowish day. Even though we had a couple of solid locations booked, our usual place in Dutton at the insurance place was okay. Lowing Woods subdivision, which is usually a banger. That's a solid $1,000 dinner. Most times we're there, usually about 1,200. And we did 5,500 or not 5,500, 550.
I was gonna say, shit.
Yeah, we had a lot of food. Yeah, we did like 550.
How can I book that place? That'd be worth a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, it was hot. It was awful. It was, and that was the day we did have some rain come through. It actually got pretty chilly after one little quick storm came through. So yeah, I mean, and we cooked accordingly. I don't know that we could have done much more than we did. Probably a couple $100 is all we had left for food wise. So we knew it was not going to be the busiest day. Wednesday, back to the airport. And I tell you what, man,
seems to be going well for you.
that airport gig, I had my concerns, especially with the number of trucks that they get there. It's a good one, and we're going to sign up for all of them next year. The key there is location.
Oh, where you park?
Where you're parked and it's first come, first serve. So start serving at 10. The park opens at 7, I think, and you park yourself. So you just line up. So the first one there is in the first spot, and then everybody lines up behind. So that first spot is where people walk in, and you want to be near the front. So we were the first ones there this last week. Chris was the first one there. Another very popular barbecue truck was also scheduled that day. Saladino Smoke. They were the second ones there. So he originally had parked right up behind us and then said, I'm gonna back up, give us some space between the two barbecue vendors, which was probably not the best idea for him. He probably would have been better off being right next to us.
Yeah.
Looking down, judging from just observations, I would guess he did half the number we did. And it's very good food. He does very well everywhere he goes. My only thought is people just didn't make it. They saw barbecue and stopped, type of thing. You know,
they didn't need to go see another barbecue.
We're going for barbecue. We're going to stop at the barbecue truck that we are at. So, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, that's always been pretty consistent. I think we did 13 for lunch on a hot, muggy day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what it's been. I don't think we've done less than 12. So, it's a 10 to 4. Their survey that they released that they've had a lot of feedback about allowing trucks to leave at 2, because they don't let you leave at 2. If you left early, they pulled you from the rest of your events. Really? They wanted everybody there until 4 o'clock. Because that's what they were advertising to everybody. So they didn't want everybody pulling out and then having people show up for food and not have food. So they asked if they had options for just until 2 o'clock or until 4 or even possibly through dinner. Would that be something that everybody would be interested in? I'm open to all 3 options, you know, depending on what else we might be able to have going on.
Yeah.
I think dinner could be probably a good thing out there. Potentially. It'd be something be worth trying for us, you know? So I'm looking forward to that. Thursday, we were expecting it to be a slowish day, and it didn't disappoint. Just a couple of our not greatest locations that we have on schedule. One of the Corwell Beltline, which has been the most frustrating location for us this year because they are putting a ginormous addition onto that building. And there's probably 150 construction guys there, and we only see 2 or 3 of them. And we are parked right next to the trailers, their construction trailers. And they just don't know we're there until we get there. So the communication doesn't get to them ahead of time. And we hear it every time we're there. Yeah, man, would have been awesome to know if you guys were going to be here so we could prepare and not bring lunches. And it's like, well, shit. Or a lot of those guys are just eating wherever they're working inside the building, you know, and don't even know we're there. So, yeah, when they announced the construction, we were pretty damn excited about it. And then, yeah, it just has not been super great. So, that might be one that's considered a no-go for next year. We'll see. But we did provide dinner for the Rockford marching band that night. So that takes some of the sting out of a slower night.
How are the Gricos?
I don't know. I didn't go.
Oh, okay.
Chris just dropped that off because we had dinner service on the opposite side of the greater Grand Rapids area. Rockford's pretty close to where he lives. Gotcha. So he did that and just headed home from there. So it's great. We do it every year. You know, pretty simple menu. We give them a huge discount because it's, you know, for the band. So take care of the band nerds and on we go. We had band nerds are awesome, man. I have nothing against them. I mean that with respect and sincerity for the band nerds.
Because one time at band camp.
Yes, that's right. Bernie said Firebore. Oh, never mind.
We'll wait on that one, bud.
We already did that one. Yeah, that'll lead into this next day pretty well. Friday we were at Wiseman for the whole day, which is the first time we've been there for a whole day in a long time. The lunch was pretty good, which is what we expected. That's kind of what we saw last year. A pretty solid lunch. We did, I think, 1,100 during lunch until from 11 to 2. And then it was pretty slow the rest of the day. It's those Fridays of holiday weekends are among their slowest days there because everybody's heading out of town.
Yeah.
So we didn't expect much for dinner. I had an appointment with a sleep doctor because apparently I snore. I'm told there's rumors.
You don't snore, you breathe heavily.
Sure. It doesn't bother me.
Exactly.
I told Angie it sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
She says, sounds like a you need to go somewhere problem.
Yeah. Anyway, so I had this lots of talk about sleep patterns and sleep habits, and apparently me getting 4.5 to 5 hours a night is not acceptable.
Says who?
Says her, and her referring to my poor brain at least a half a dozen times during this appointment.
Well, hold on. We knew that. we knew
With
your poor brain.
The saddest inflection on the whole phrase. Oh, your poor brain. Yeah,
That's
she
why
says
I
I need.
forget things all the time.
Yeah. It was when I said I have dozed off at a red light before
Ooh.
that things
Who
got really
hasn't?
concerned. I think normal people.
Oh,
Yeah, there's like this whole questionnaire that we're doing. I'm answering her questions, and there's scores like 0 being not likely, 3 being the most likely, or it has happened.
is this a test that you're going to fail?
Oh, I failed.
Oh, boy.
So there was a top, the highest bad score you get was 24, and I scored a 17, which apparently is not good.
Can you send me that? Like, is it something you can forward?
No, so we did it verbally. It wasn't like a pre thing. 17's not great.
No.
And that was with her giving me a 0 on the have you fallen asleep driving. She did not want to put 3. So I think I was more close to a 20.
Oh.
And I think she might have had to report me to like the Secretary of State or something. Yeah. Like we need to get this guy off the road.
Sir.
So yeah, she said any way you can, even if it's like a short nap or 2 during the day. I said I can't. There's not most days I can't go to bed earlier than I do, and it's like I get home 7:30, 8 o'clock or whatever. Get the kids to bed, or there's even if I'm home earlier than that, there's the school activities and the kid activities and the dinner and bedtime, and they go to bed at 8:30, and it's 9 o'clock. So now I have my hour to decompress. So bed at 10:15. If I'm asleep by 10:15, I get 5 hours. So yeah, it's 6 hours of sleep is like I don't even know how. So
I didn't know it was possible.
I have there's been days where I've been home for the day, like they're out working and I'm doing stuff here. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna set my alarm for an hour. I'm gonna lay down and try to sleep. And I wake up every 5 minutes in a panic.
Your mind doesn't stop.
Yeah. I'm in a panic that I overslept and I've missed something. So it's something we're working on, but definitely probably some of the issues, especially this year with scheduling that, I've had conversations and they haven't gotten to the proper calendars or some mix ups on dates and stuff. So definitely probably contributing, plus all the other health issues that, not getting enough sleep. Great. So we're working on it. I took a nap yesterday. Yep. And I had felt crappy the rest of the day and felt more tired.
Right. Yeah. You're hoping naps are going to be good and they end up just being absolute shit.
Yeah. That's like I feel awful now. So why would I want to do this?
Yeah.
But yeah, then we get to Saturday. This was Rick's second to last day on the truck.
Oh, do we have an opening date for his own truck?
He's hoping by I think 3rd week ish of September.
What's he doing?
He's doing barbecue.
Oh boy.
Which is fine.
He's learned from the master. Ish.
We'll see.
So we had how retention works.
So we had the Hess Lake Poker Run on Saturday.
Yeah, that looked busy.
So it's a lot of times you see poker runs and it's people riding around motorcycles to different stops to collect whatever, blah, 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 however those work. Since it's on a lake, everybody's in pontoon boats. So they dock at certain houses around the lake. It's a whole association thing that they do every year.
Cool.
And the final stop is where we were. They had 4 bands, huge fireworks show at 9:30. We were serviced from 5 to 8. So everybody that had a wristband was part of the tab. If they didn't have a wristband, they could still buy food. or if they wanted additional food, they could still. So we did about $3,000 in 2.5 hours.
Jesus.
Three of us, I forgot our folding table to have Chris set up outside, so all three of us were inside the truck. Rick, I love you. There was a couple times where I think he was a deer caught in the headlights type of thing with just the pacing, because he's not had any of those days with us. A busy hour would have been $600, $700 is what he's seen. Maybe he's done $1,000 hour. Definitely not $3,000 in 2.5 hours type of thing. So he was just handing out food. I think he zoned out a couple times in wild amazement. Talked to him yesterday. So I'm glad to see you recovered and you came back for your another last day. He said, yeah. I said, I think I don't want to do any of those events. He says, I'm good with the $700-800 days, like the nice calm, we're going to do a couple $100 an hour type of thing. And because it's just, he's retired or, it's just a little extra income for him. And he's like, he said, there's no way I could do that. Keep up with that. I mean, I had to give Chris a hard stop once because there was no more room. I couldn't read half the tickets because they were overlapped so much and still had them hanging. The last one had 6 tickets on it, just hanging down.
Wow.
I mean, obviously he can take orders faster than I can make orders. And then we had people ordering together. So there was like a family that all had wristbands. So you get a 6 sandwich order. Jesus Christ. And then, he's just rocking through. So he can probably take 3 orders in the time I can make one, You throw in a bigger order and it's like, fuck. Or it's an order where every sandwich is made just a little bit different.
Yep.
So you got to like really focus on it. Like you can't just go into autopilot on it.
I love the ones that are like, oh, I didn't notice that came with something because I didn't read it correctly.
Yep.
Can you please take that off after it's already made and ready to be handed out?
Absolutely. We had one guy grab somebody else's food.
Oh, because that fucking happens. God,
yes.
I hate that.
But it's a really cool crowd. They've been drinking all day, but they're happy, friendly drunks. They figured it out themselves. After we got to the next order and called the guy's name that already grabbed food, he's like, "Oh, that was mine. This wasn't mine." So they figured out who belonged to who, and they just kind of did their own swap. So but it slows everything down because we're talking inside trying to figure out how to fix it. That was our week. It was a good week. We finished the month solid. Like I said, we're going to talk about our August numbers and kind of September here in just a second. And we're going to take a quick little break here. Got to pay some bills. Is that what they say on the radio?
That's what they say on the radio.
We're basically that.
Are we
3 or 6, Skippy? 3 or 6?
Does it matter?
No, just pick one.
6.
All right. It's not playing. Hold on.
Fucking amateur operation.